Welcome to Where We Listen, a place where real life stories and life lessons are shared. Today, we follow the journey of an older brother who grew up with the heavy responsibility of caring for his family. His story is one of sacrifice, love, and resilience, as he learns what it truly means to put others before himself. How do these sacrifices shape his future? Let's listen.
As the oldest of four children, I always felt like I had two lives, the life of a kid and the life of an adult. From as early as I can remember, there were expectations placed on me that were different from my younger siblings. I wasn't just the big brother. I was the extra pair of hands, the backup parent, the one my family leaned on when things got tough. We didn't have much growing up. My parents worked endlessly, but it was never enough. I remember watching them, day after day, coming home late from their jobs, exhausted, but still doing everything they could to make sure we had food on the table. But even though they worked so hard, we barely scraped by. Sometimes, we'd go days without knowing if we'd have enough to eat by the end of the week. I knew from a young age that my life was going to be different from my friends. I couldn't go out after school, play sports, or focus on the things they could. My afternoons were spent helping my father with whatever work he could find, mowing lawns, fixing broken items, delivering goods for neighbors. My evenings were spent watching over my younger siblings, making sure they were fed, that they did their homework, that they were ready for bed. It was like I had a job of my own before I even hit my teenage years. I still went to school, but it always felt like school was the secondary part of my life. There were times when I couldn't even stay awake in class because I'd been up late helping my parents finish their work or taking care of my siblings. My teachers would sometimes pull me aside and ask if everything was all right, but what could I say? It wasn't something I could explain in just a few words. This was my life. It wasn't going to change. I remember feeling so much resentment back then. I loved my family, but I couldn't help wondering why it all fell on me. Why did I have to be the one to grow up so fast? I saw my friends enjoying their freedom, playing games, dreaming about their futures, while I was stuck in this cycle of responsibility. I knew I couldn't leave. I couldn't just walk away from my family, but deep inside, it was hard to shake the feeling of unfairness. I didn't realize it at the time, but that responsibility was teaching me something invaluable. It was teaching me resilience. It was teaching me how to put others before myself. But as a teenager, all I could see was what I was missing out on. One memory stands out to me clearly. It was my last year of high school. I had been working non-stop for weeks, helping my father with a big job. He had injured his back, so the majority of the work fell on me. One evening, I got a call from my friends. They were all getting together to celebrate the end of exams, and for the first time in months, I had a few free hours. I was excited, finally, a chance to feel like a regular teenager. As I was getting ready to leave, my little brother came into the room. He looked up at me with these big, worried eyes, and I knew something was wrong. "I don't feel well," he said. In that moment, I had a choice. I could leave and enjoy a few hours of freedom, or I could stay and take care of my brother. I didn't even hesitate. I stayed. It wasn't the first time I'd missed out, and it wouldn't be the last, but it was the moment I realized how much my family truly relied on me. It was like this invisible thread pulling me back to them every time. In a strange way, that realization gave me a sense of purpose, even if I resented it at times. As the years passed, my role in the family only grew. My parents trusted me with more responsibilities. My siblings looked up to me more. I felt the weight of their expectations, and I carried it with me wherever I went. I sacrificed things I wanted, sports, parties, even dating. It was hard watching other people my age move on with their lives while I was still stuck in the same routine. But what could I do? My family needed me. There were moments when I felt trapped by it all. When I felt like I was drowning in the weight of responsibility. There were nights when I'd lie in bed and wonder what my life would have been like if I had been born into a different family, a different situation. But those thoughts didn't last long. I loved my family too much to ever really regret my role in their lives. one particularly difficult time came when my father's health started to decline even more. He could no longer work the way he used to, and the pressure on me became almost unbearable. I was only in my early 20s, but I was the main breadwinner for our family. I worked multiple jobs, saved every penny I could, and still somehow managed to help my siblings with their schoolwork. I remember collapsing from exhaustion more than once, but I pushed through because I had no other choice. I still remember the day everything changed for me. My youngest sister had just graduated from high school. I had worked hard to make sure she could go to college, something I had given up for myself. That night, she came up to me with tears in her eyes and said, "Thank you for everything. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you." In that moment, I realized that all those years of sacrifice hadn't been for nothing. Seeing her succeed, knowing I had played a part in it, made it all worth it. It wasn't about the things I had missed out on, it was about what I had gained, a sense of purpose, a deep connection with my family, and a strength I didn't know I had. Eventually, I found my own way forward. I was able to go back to school, and though it took me longer than most, I earned my degree. I found a stable job, and for the first time, I was able to focus on building my own life. But I never forgot the lessons I learned as the older brother. The sacrifices I made shaped me into the person I am today. They gave me the resilience, the discipline, and the determination to overcome whatever challenges life threw my way. Looking back, I don't regret a single thing. Yes, it was hard. Yes, there were moments when I felt like I was missing out on life. But in the end, I gained something far more valuable than a few years of freedom. I gained the knowledge that I had been there for the people who needed me the most. I had helped my family when they couldn't help themselves. And that is something no one can ever take away from me.
This story of an older brother's sacrifice is one that resonates deeply with many. While the journey was long and difficult, it also came with valuable lessons in selflessness, responsibility, and strength. In the end, it wasn't just about what he gave up, but about what he gained through the experience. What are some of the sacrifices you've made for the people you care about? How have those sacrifices shaped who you are today? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching Where We Listen. If you have a story to share, send it to us at where.we.listen.official@gmail.com. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more real-life stories and life lessons.